Alright, it is time to start a new video, and before you say anything, yes, I'm doing a new device for this new styling, so, today we're going to be talking about what would happen if Fugo became a traitor like how he originally was supposed to be in Part 5. Now, I'll explain what I mean by this. So, the original plan back in JoJo Part 5 was for Fugo to betray Team Bucciarati and he become a villain of his own. By the way, sorry, my voice is a little sore. Recently got over a cold. This and probably the next video is gonna be a little rough, but yeah, whatever. I just got done with the cold, so just had to get you guys to know that in advance. So today I'm gonna talk about what would happen if Fugo actually helped Diavolo and was betraying the team, like assuming he went on board and was planning to be a traitor. So let's see what would change the franchise, shall we? So let's talk about the one and only part that matters here, and that's part 5. So, in this original, like in the original timeline, we know that Fugo is going to be a traitor, but Araki scrapped it, so like, this is going with the assumption Araki did make Fugo a traitor. Now, in my opinion, this is likely meaning that Chocolate and Seko may be having to go, so goodbye to them. Clash and Talking Head and Notorious B.I.G., those fights still happen, I assume. And when they get to Sardinia, Risotto vs. Doppio, that still happens. Abacchio probably still dies, but maybe Fugo ends up killing him instead, or maybe Fugo plays a part in that death. I really can't say, but everything else at this point has happened more or less the same like in canon. But Fugo is just there for the ride, and at the end it's revealed that Fugo is a traitor. Now, how do you reveal this whole traitor reveal? I can't really say how. Maybe once Polnareff reveals the whole Requiem stuff, Fugo just, I don't know. I'm gonna assume Fugo just goes out with Narantia and Mista, so that once everything happens, Fugo attacks them, and that just leads to them being infected by Purple Haze, and Giorno and Bruno having to get involved. Maybe Fugo has some kind of help. Yeah, I mean, you have to look for an enemy who would be on the elite guards to actually help Fugo out. Because Fugo alone shouldn't take out all of Team Bucciarati. So I'm assuming he does get some kind of help. And that just likely leads to Narazia and Mista getting infected, but Giorno making some kind of cure for them, like how he did for himself in the Man in the Mirror fight against Deluzio. So everything like that happens, and by that point, Giorno would probably help Mista up, and those two would probably go together like in canon, while Bruno would probably end up having to fight someone there. So it's likely Fugo's gonna fight either Bruno or Giorno Mista. Now, in my opinion, I think it generally depends on what happens here, so assuming Fugo goes after someone like Bruno, that would lead to a Fugo versus Bruno fight, and I really don't think Bruno would kill Fugo, let alone have what it takes to do it. Because, to be honest, Fugo and Bruno, like, they had a close relationship. And I don't think that Bruno would be cold-hearted enough to actually kill Bruno. I mean, the other way around. I mean, Fugo may also feel that way too. So in theory, it may be one of those things where Fugo just can't carry on with it, and maybe he just turns good at the end. Rest of part 5 still happens, but Fugo likely gets killed in the final fight. Maybe Narantia can live. Bruno's probably not living because he was a zombie creature thingy. So, I guess the rest of part 5 could go the same if Fugo just redeems himself. For the Mista and Giorno fight, assuming Fugo gets involved there, he has to fight one of them or both of them. It likely means Fugo probably just takes out Sex Pistol easily. And Giorno probably and Mista probably gets knocked out. It's hard to see how Fugo versus Giorno would go, assuming Fugo takes a helicopter like how Chocolate did. It's likely Fugo probably has some kind of plan of some sort that leads to Fugo and Giorno to fight. Giorno likely has a way to outsmart him, and Giorno probably would have killed him in my honest opinion, as he was, as like the 7-page Muto was made for like the worst of the worst. And if Fugo was going to betray the team, in a way, he would be considered a worst of the worst scumbag character. So having Journo do the 7-page beatdown on him, I guess, could kind of fit. It'd be very sad, granted, but there's a good chance it probably would happen. As for the rest of the story, I really don't know much would change. I mean, I guess he can maybe fight Narantia instead, and maybe Narantia has to kill him, but even that, honestly, I don't really know if anyone on Team Bucciarati would be willing to kill Fugo, with the exception of Jarno. Maybe Trish, but like I doubt she's gonna fight Fugo, so it's gonna be like Jarno who's the only one to kill him. I don't think Bruno or Mista or especially Narantia have what's in them to actually kill him. So I think the part likely just probably ends the same, but Fugo just dies. And then there'd probably be no redemption, so Fugo he dies a terrible human being. And he gets compared as one of the worst characters who got a terrible beatdown. So in other words, Fugo would just be considered a pure evil character. And we would probably miss out on Chocolate, so that sucks. I guess no Chocolate and Secco. A 7-page Muda would probably be a little more depressing in my opinion. So that would be the story. This has been a requested what if a lot. At the moment, I'm not taking requests, so don't leave a request or I'll delete it in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.